On the 23rd of January 1972, one of Germany's most iconic children's TV shows was, after less than a year on air, renamed in honor of its brand new mascot and has been broadcast under the same name ever since. The friendly orange mouse has remained virtually unchanged since then and continues to educate and entertain new generations of German children. Each episode is comprised of several different segments. There are stories, comedy sketches, songs, and short documentaries, often about how everyday objects are made. And everything stitched together with short animations featuring the mouse himself, sometimes accompanied by his improbably-sized friends. It served to introduce to German audiences such shows as Shaun the Sheep and Peppa Pig, but also some equally iconic homegrown content such as Captain Blaubeer, about a retired sailor who tells his grandchildren tall tales about his younger days. It's hard to imagine now, but when it first launched in 1971, it was not an overnight success. It was originally called Lach- und Sachgeschichten für Fernsehanfänger, which was certainly descriptive, but how many children were going to beg their parents to be allowed to watch something with that title? More to the point, the creators believed that there was way too much chatter on TV, and so kept dialogue to an absolute minimum, and that meant that the documentary segments in particular were strangely uninformative and dull. Not only that, but many people accused the show of actively encouraging children to be mute, along with other frankly bizarre crimes against humanity. Proof positive that fully grown adults could be as unreasonable back then as they can be now. The creators gradually added more dialogue, although it took them a while to get the pacing right. But now the documentaries are really good and genuinely interesting. So much so that the average age of the audience is now 40, as parents and grandparents settle down to watch the show with the children. But what really made the show what it is today came about when the producers asked an artist called Isolde Schmidt-Menzel to provide illustrations for one of the stories that was to be featured on the show. It was about a mouse that gets trapped overnight in a shop. She took the job, but she wasn't happy about it. It was not the kind of art that she was really interested in, and the thought of having to paint all these grey mice was really off-putting. So she painted the mice in different colours. The main protagonist of the story was given an orange body with brown ears, arms and legs. The broadcaster's editor for children's television liked the drawings so much that he asked her to provide ideas for short skits involving the mouse, which could be animated and inserted between segments. And so she dutifully came up with storyboards for 10 of these skits, along with the advice to the animator that the mouse should walk a little bit like Charlie Chaplin. And so a legend was born. The first animations were ready by January 1972, and the entire show was renamed Die Sendung mit der Maus, which is definitely an improvement over the previous title. And the show as a whole has held up very well against some very stiff competition. The mouse is now firmly established as part of the German cultural landscape and often pops up in the most unexpected of places. For example, in one season, the show followed the construction of an Airbus A321, which is currently operated by Lufthansa, and you'll know which one it is the moment you see it. And the mouse has even been in space. In 1992, German astronaut Klaus Dietrich Flade took a cuddly toy mouse with him to the Mir space station. As for the artist herself, it seems that she grew to be proud of her creation, or at least was happy to be associated with it. She later said that she put so much of herself into the character that she was the mouse. Not bad, considering her initial dread at having to paint something as boring as a mouse for a children's TV show which, given its initial reception, almost didn't make it beyond its first year. Oh, and if you are studying German, have reached an intermediate level, and have ever wondered how gumboots are made or how escalators work, you might want to take a look at the show's official YouTube channel. I've put a link in the description. Which was something. It's hard to imagine, but when it was first 40 as parents and